Over the past year, I've put at least 500 hours into playing Fallout 4 on survival difficulty, but always with one extra stipulation. If I die, I have to restart the game. It took me over 30 attempts to beat the game for the first time with this rule, but every attempt taught me something. The biggest thing being, never trust Fallout 4. So you've decided a permadeath run is something you're interested in, but you don't want to go in without a clue. I'd say that game knowledge is the most important thing when attempting a permadeath playthrough. This is part 1 of a series where I share the things I've learned in all my attempts and what you should consider and expect in your first 30 or so hours of a run. In this video, I'll be going over the basics of what to know before starting your attempt, the types of styles that are viable, special point allocation, and useful perks. As a caveat, I will say there is a mod for everything, I know. I'll complain about aspects of this game that probably have a mod that will fix it. If you want to download it, do it. I'm not the Fallout police. However, I prefer a vanilla experience and so don't tend to download mods. Having said that, there are a couple of mods I'd suggest picking up before this journey officially begins. A quick start mod that lets you skip the pre-war section of the game. Trust me, this is almost essential. The VATS freeze bug fix, and a mod that lets you save without having to sleep in a bed. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Fish, this is a permadeath playthrough. The only time I'll be saving is when I stop playing for the day and the game saves for you automatically. And to you I say, hey, nice one. That's a very astute observation. Well done. However, this is also a game released by Bethesda, which means it has the potential of crashing at any moment for seemingly no reason. And I don't want you to quit or fail your run because the game crashed and you realized that it had been a solid 2 hours since you last slept in a bed and saved your game. Starting out a permadeath run is always the most dangerous and boring part of an attempt. There are a few reasons for this. Number 1, you're at your weakest defensively and offensively. 2, once you've died a few times, you start going on autopilot and you can likely make silly mistakes. And number 3, despite the decent job that was done scaling the starting area, sometimes the most unforgiving random encounters can occur that will just ruin your day. A rad scorpion, random group of super mutants, Mr. Gutsy, a swarm of ghouls, minefield, Yao Guai, or even Mirelurks. For some reason the game sometimes just wants you dead. This brings me to the most important thing to remember when attempting a permadeath playthrough. Run away. If the odds are looking too far out of favor, you are surprised by something that isn't normally there, or you're just doing something you should probably not be doing, don't be afraid to just run away and try again another day. You're better off progressing somewhere else, or going slow and getting a few more levels, than having to replay the first 6 hours of the game again and again and again. You'll already be doing that enough anyway. Next, let's talk about the sort of build that is viable. Short answer, almost everything. Long answer, almost everything, but there are definitely easier and more difficult playthrough styles. Melee is alright. Drugs are good, don't take that out of context. Guns are great. Power armor is excellent. Sneak is amazing, and VATS is awesome. If you're going to start your attempt, you may think that a sneaky VATS user is the way to go. And if you have the game knowledge, that is a very good way of doing it. But there is a downside to sneaking. And that is, once you've been discovered, your damage drops by a minimum of half. The first sneak attack crit is great, but now everyone is alert, and you don't get that bonus damage from sneaking. This leaves you at a disadvantage because you also have low defenses. It is for this reason I suggest using power armor. Power armor gives you the opportunity to make mistakes and still recover. It gives you the ability to run around with a baseball bat and not die by the time you get to your target. It has a number of awesome upgrades that give you the edge, including but not limited to highlighting enemies in red so you can see them easier, automatically injecting stim packs when your health is reduced to 50%, a jetpack that can allow you to skip huge sections of dungeons or even skip straight to the end. You may be like me, and when you first loaded up Fallout 4, you saw the power armor and you thought, well, that's dumb. I prefer the power armor in Fallout 3 in New Vegas. I am never going to be using this. However, having beaten the game, only getting out of the power armor to sleep and occasionally hack a computer, I can say that, with certainty, power armor in Fallout 4 is really cool. If you're still not convinced, or you really don't want to hear the thud 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 of power armor all the time as you're walking around the Commonwealth, I'll suggest that you still use it for the start of the game. Even if you're planning on using a sneaky playstyle, as it really ups your survivability by a lot in the early game, when you're looking for better armor and weapons. It'll save you a few resets, as you'll be much more resistant to the random Molotov that comes out of nowhere, or the guy with a shotgun that's just waiting behind a corner to unload point blank into your chest. Now I can hear you all thinking to yourself, awesome, I'll use power armor at the start, be a sneaky sniper once I find my first rifle, then I can travel around the waste with my good pal Preston. This is going to be great. You are wrong to think that. This is going to be great. This is going to be soul-destroying. Also, why on earth would you ever use a companion? They are one of the worst things in Fallout 4. They can't shoot to save anyone's life. They give away your position at a moment's notice. They stand in the only escape route of a room, blocking your way out. They waste all your ammo, and the perk Lone Wanderer exists, which is just better than every companion in the game. Even if you could bring every companion with you, I would still take Lone Wanderer, because it's just better. Don't even get me started on the dog. Less sneaky than a super mutant, with the door blocking abilities that would rival an actual door. Sure, you can have him accompany you and still get the benefits of Lone Wanderer, but expect for him to run in front of every Molotov you ever throw, get distracted by an enemy nowhere near you, get downed, and then you either have to fight your way to him to get him up, or walk far enough away that he goes back to the settlement, which you discover you forgot to change to Hangman's Alley, and you realize you're going to have to walk all the way back to Red Rocket to retrieve him, but you're currently in Jamaica Plains. The only use the dog has is sending him at super mutant suiciders, so that they blow up on the dog before they blow up on you. In short, don't use a companion. Take 3 points in Charisma, get Lone Wanderer, as soon as possible. So you're starting off the power armor, transitioning into a crit-based sneaky sniper build. You're not bringing a companion with you. Is there anything else you should know? Well, yes. Just, so much more. Just a lot more. Possible random encounters in certain areas, where every Rad Scorpion, Super Mutant Behemoth, Myla, Queen, and Deathclaw spawns, the safest route through the glowing sea, what legendary items to buy from vendors, what parts of quests are necessary to do, and what parts actually are skippable, but they're made to think that you have to do them, where all the sneak mags are. But I'll end with special point allocation and good perks. You can figure all the other stuff out by playing through the game, or maybe I'll make another video. The special points you allocate at the start of the game set you up for the rest of your run. Do you want to get experience from intelligence or luck? Are you going melee, pistols, rifles, or fully automatic? Will you be sneaking or tanking? VATS or no VATS, blah, blah, blah. I'll go over a basic template to follow depending on your build. This isn't law, but it's a good framework to go off. S is for strength. Good to get at least 3 so you can grab the Armorer perk. Only worth going higher if you're playing a very melee-focused build or not using power armor. Each point of strength gives a 10% boost to melee damage and unarmed damage, as well as 10 points of carry weight. P is for perception. Useless. Every point gives you a 10% chance to hit in VATS, but getting closer also improves your hit chance. Melee always has either a 95% or 0% chance to hit, and all perks in the tree are pretty bad with the exception of Demolition Expert, and unless you're actually planning on using a bunch of explosives, isn't worth investing in until late, as there is almost always something better to get. E is for endurance. No matter what build you're using, always get 10 endurance. More endurance equals more health equals better chance of survival. Also, the higher endurance, the slower the AP drains when sprinting. AP drain is completely negated at 21 endurance. This means you can run forever. Plus, endurance has some of the best perks for a first Permadeath playthrough, such as Solar Powered, Aqua Boil Girl, Adamantium Skeleton, and Life Giver. C is for Charisma. Charisma is another stat you want at least 3 in to start. Getting Lone Wanderer at 2nd level increases your survivability and carry weight by a considerable amount. Apart from that, the only perk I'd suggest is Local Leader, but that is more for convenience. The big thing with Charisma is passing persuasion checks. Having Charisma at 11 will guarantee success of all speech checks. This can be achieved through a combination of clothing, drugs, and alcohol. This will save you money, time, and some combat situations, like the dreaded Courser at the end of Hunter Hunted Quest, as well as earn you money and bonus experience when negotiating quest rewards. I is for intelligence. This is a stat that can either go 10 or 1. If you want to upgrade guns, use power armor a lot, hack robots, get consistent experience gain, invest highly in int. If you don't, then don't. Simple. You get 3% more experience every point of int, gives you fewer choices when hacking something, and it speeds up the quest, the USS Constitution, a little. But otherwise, that's it. A is for agility. Another stat you will invest 10 or 1 into. This time, though, it's all about VATS and sneaking. Having 3 agility, so you can pick up the first 3 points of sneak, will be very useful, as it means you no longer set off ground-based traps or mines. Remember, though, that other characters, or mole rats, still can. This can come online as early as 12th level, so it can be useful early game. Each point of agility gives you 10 extra AP, so you can VATS more. L is for luck. It is finally time for luck. Some swear by it, others, like me, think it's pretty meh. Luck builds will often want low intelligence and at least 5 luck for Idiot Savant. Idiot Savant is the other way to earn experience. The lower your intelligence, the more likely it will activate, giving you 3 times the experience gain at 1st level, 5 times at 2nd, and then the 3rd level, I couldn't be bothered to explain, so look it up yourself. Luck fills your critical meter quicker, so the higher your luck, the less you miss in VATS, making it like Perception, but better, as critical hits can be saved for later, and perks in the luck tree are mostly just better than the perks in the Perception tree. So with all this information taken into account, a melee-focused sneaky VATS build might look something like this. 4 strength, so we can upgrade our weapon. 1 perception, as melee always has either 0 or 95% chance to hit in VATS. 10 endurance, because of the reasons stated earlier. 3 charisma for Lone Wanderer. 1 intelligence, so we can get Idiot Savant procs more frequently. 4 agility for the sneak perk. AP and increased sneak in general. And 5 luck for Idiot Savant. I'd look into getting agility to 9 for the blitz perk, as it is just amazing. Then slowly increase strength for the increased damage, which will also increase survivability tremendously in the later game. Increasing strength and luck later in the run will increase damage by a lot once you gain access to perks like Rooted, Grim Reaper's Sprint, Critical Banker, and better criticals. Getting the Intelligence Bobblehead early will also give me access to the Medic perk, so this is all the basic information you need to know if attempting a permadeath run of Fallout 4. You can start your attempts now and see how far you get in the first try. My guess is a mine you didn't know about or maybe forgot will take you. But maybe that's just me. In part 2 of this video series, I'll go into more depth about where to go and what to do when you first get into the game, and some handy things to grab early. Thanks for watching this part 1 of my Permadeath Fallout 4 survival guide. Hope to see you again. But if you can't wait until part 2, I stream Permadeath Fallout 4 challenge runs every Monday and Tuesday on twitch.tv/ahappyfish. Feel free to come in and ask questions. Thanks for watching. Bye.